Leo, new moon, essential oils. Here we go. Let's get into present mode. And there we have it. All right, so my daughter posted this quote the other day. She's a health and wellness coach. And so I stole this from her because I thought it was really appropriate that most parents would say they would die for their kids, but less than 30% of the people out there will actually live a healthy lifestyle for them. So my question to you is, what are you doing to manage your health and wellness? Because if we don't, we pay for it later. So sometimes I hear from people, especially with essential oils or maybe buying high quality food or, trying to eat healthy or exercise or whatever it is, oh, that's too expensive. But the cost of being sick is much more expensive than the cost of taking care of ourselves. So that's one of the reasons that I love essential oils is they naturally work with our body because they are the essence of the plants, which are natural, right? And if they're natural, they're going to be good for us because it's not synthetic, it's not something that's processed. But again, Mother Nature has given us tremendous tools to work with. So essential oils basically protect the plant from, harmful bacteria, from predators, from parasites, from whatever, and it helps the plant stay healthy. So those also work with us in supporting us and being healthier. So I want you to think about your top health goal. And if you have more than one, that's great. 1 to 3 is usually what I ask people. What are your top 3 health goals that you want to achieve? And I love the Leo energy because it helps us to be more physical and in our body and thinking about what are the things that get in your way? What are the 1 or 2 things that get in your way of actually achieving that goal? And sometimes we just get in our own way, right? So it's like, okay, how do I get out of my own way? Or maybe we just don't know what we need to do to be healthy. I was a health and fitness coach for over 13 years, and I would see it all the time where people were gung-ho, excited in achieving whatever their health and wellness goals were, and then they would fall off for whatever reason. Life got in their way. But what I want to do is create systems that help people in being healthy in an ongoing fashion. So if you're interested in learning about your health and achieving your top goals with your health and wellness, then please contact me for a free wellness consult. And we can discuss what your goals are and what's going to support you most. So let's talk about this Leo energy. Since it's about living heart-centered, it's about having more fun, I had to bring ylang-ylang in. So ylang-ylang is a flower. It reminds me a lot of jasmine. Emotionally, it encourages us to be playful and to have more fun, and it's really good for blood pressure issues. Or heartbeat issues. So for having physical issues with our body, we need to look at emotionally what's taking place with this, because that's an indication that there's some sort of imbalance taking place. So when we can look at what that is, what am I feeling in my body? As I mentioned with this Leo energy, there can be a lot of digestive issues, right? In processing life, able to stand in our power and keeping that, the process of life going. So what helps you in managing your stress and managing your worry and everything else that comes up? Ylang-ylang is great at balancing hormones. When we get highly stressed out, our hormones can get very imbalanced. So this is going to be a great oil to bring that back. One of the other reasons that I love this, so one of my favorite blends is using ylang-ylang, one of the fur oils like Siberian fir or Douglas fir, along with geranium, because it helps bring your heart into balance, both physically and emotionally. It supports you in resolving sadness. It helps you in bringing more joy. It helps you in trusting yourself and trusting in the process of life. We'll talk about geranium more in just a minute. Wild orange, oil of abundance. So the citrus oils are going to stimulate creativity. They're going to help you feel abundant. When I'm really stressed out, I typically go for a citrus oil. So they're very energizing, uplifting, and help us to just feel more inspired overall. Wild orange is the oil of abundance. So if you're not feeling abundant, then using wild orange, tangerine, grapefruit, these types of oils are going to help you feel more inspired and uplifted. This is a great one. I use this on my water every single day. I put it in my hydro flask with my water, and not only does it make the water taste amazing, but it's going to detox my body. It helps break down the petrochemicals, which we get from the air that we breathe, the foods that we're eating because of the pesticides that are placed on them. So it not only supports us emotionally, but it helps physically in releasing those toxins. Motivate. If you're the type of person that's having difficulty in getting motivate, doTERRA has this great blend called Motivate, and it does just that. It combines citrus and mint oils. Like I just mentioned, the citrus oils are very uplifting and energizing, and mint oils help us have that mental clarity and to really focus. So either spearmint or peppermint are great pick-me-up in the afternoons. If at 3 o'clock you're tired and want to take a nap and you still have 2 or 3 hours of work, I just breathe in the bottle and I'm amazed. I immediately just wake right up. This also contains clementine and coriander, basil. Basil is a great essential oil for the adrenals. So we often experience adrenal overload when we're highly stressed out, we're not relaxing enough, not enough positive self-care. This is a great oil that helps bring everything back into balance. Another great oil is the Cheer blend. This one combines citrus oils and spice oils. So one of the reasons I like spice oils, especially with this Leo energy, is, you know, Leo to me is kind of a spicy time, right? Like we need that spice of life to kind of bring us to that next level. So if you're the type of person that needs some motivation to take life to the next level, then Cheer is going to be a great one. I love putting a drop or two in my shower before the, as I'm turning on the water, and by the time I get in the shower, it smells amazing. I've used this as a personal perfume. I inhale it to just lift my mood and help me feel inspired overall. Now, Citrus Bliss was one of the first citrus blends that doTERRA came out with, and this was my go-to oil when I was highly stressed out. When I open this bottle, it's like opening a bottle of sunshine. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different citrus oils along with vanilla. So it smells amazing. The blend of these oils together is very light and yet energizing and uplifting. I was going through a really dark time when I was using this oil, and it helped me see that there was going to be light at the end of the tunnel, that life was not going to end, and I was going to be able to get through. So this is one of my favorite. It inspires you to feel cheerful and balanced and to honor yourself and really get into that place of self-expression. All right, Passion Blend. This has been one of my oils of the year, I think 3 years running. My mouth literally waters when I smell this. It has cardamom in it. It has cinnamon, ginger, clove, all of the spice oils again. The reason that I love this is it also brings in sandalwood. And I don't know, in fact, I taught an essential oil class here locally for my strengths group, and everybody in the group, our mouths were all watering with sandalwood. So it's got sandalwood, jasmine, damiana, and vanilla in it. And These oils blended together excite you, they invigorate you, they help you feel like you can get that fire going again, right? Like we've all gone through situations in our life where we're inspired to do something and then life gets in the way or it doesn't work out the way we expect, and we kind of lose our passion and inspiration. And I find that this blend, Passion from doTERRA, really does reignite that fire. If that little tiny ember is burning just a tiny, tiny bit, it helps to flame that fire and get things going. I use this as a personal perfume. I use it in my shower. I love using it on the back of my neck to relieve stress. It has some incredible benefits to inspiring your imagination and inspiring your creativity. Align blend. So there are 3 oils that I use every single day. doTERRA's Align blend, Passion blend, and rose oil. Align, this one, especially with the Leo new moon, helps you align with your heart's desires, right? So that's that heart-centered Leo energy, getting you into a place where you're following your purpose and passion. And this helps lift you to those higher levels, because sometimes we get over processing in our head and we think we're supposed to go this way, but our soul's moving us in this other direction. And it helps us in letting go, right? Because we want to be in control, or we want to manage things in some capacity. This oil, Align, really does bring you into a centered place. It's a great oil to use before meditation, very calming and soothing. It has bergamot, which supports feeling more confident, boosting your self-confidence, your self-worth. Marjoram is really great for the heart, both physically and emotionally. Peppermint is very uplifting. Jasmine and rose, 2 of the highest vibrating oils that help you to trust yourself and honor that part of you. So emotionally, this helps if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're having difficulty in letting go, maybe there's old emotions or patterns that you're holding on to. This really does help you align with your soul's desires. The nice thing is this used to be only in the yoga collection that doTERRA had. They now sell it as an individual oil. So I had a bunch of the yoga collection oils, and I would run out of Align first because it was one of my oils that I use every day. So it's really nice that they have that on an individual blend. Rose oil, highest vibrating oil, oil of divine love, helps you connect with your heart's desires, bring in that higher vibration of unconditional love, helping you anchor more light, more energy, more higher vibes, helping you to expand feelings of love, not only for yourself, but for other people, especially if you've had difficulty and maybe there's been betrayal, which I'm going to say that we all have some sort of betrayal in our life. So it's learning how to overcome that and not creating those walls. And Rose really does open us up so that we can live passionately, live inspired, feel loved, feel connected, so that we give and receive unconditional love. Geranium, as I mentioned before, geranium, ylang ylang, and Siberian fir or Douglas fir is a great combination for opening your heart to love and trust again. Geranium is the oil that supports us in trusting. When we've gone through situations where we have been betrayed or just don't feel like we can trust people, geranium helps us learn to listen to our inner voice. It helps us to discern the people that are right for us and the people that are not, so that we can truly honor ourselves and follow the people and be with the people that do support us. This is great in hair care products. It calms your nerves. If you're feeling stressed, it's great to put on the back of your neck and your shoulders. I love putting this one in my bathtub. It supports the liver, the gallbladder, pancreas, kidneys. So a lot of internal benefits as a result of even applying this topically in on those various areas. And then the last one I want to mention again, blue tansy. Anybody have blue tansy? And I just realized I spelled tansy wrong in the bottom. Anybody have blue tansy yet? Anybody get the BOGO for this one that they had last week? Yeah, it's a pricier oil. It's but it has some amazing benefits. It's going to help you in taking inspired action and help you be more focused, concentrate on what's important, letting go of the activities that are the fluff that get in the way of ultimately creating what you want. So when we do this Blue Tansy challenge, I'm literally going to have you apply 1 drop to your big toe every single morning, and setting that intention that you're going to follow the inspired action, that you're going to be mindful of what's taking place and where you're being guided and led with that is going to support you in ultimately achieving what you're wanting to do. So I hope you'll join me for the Blue Tansy challenge. As I mentioned before, we've got the Chakra Balancing with Essential Oils course that is available. If you are going to take that, I recommend that you spend at least 1 week on each chakra, sometimes 2, maybe longer. And it's really about following your inner guidance on how often to switch gears, right? Because we have different imbalances. We're all going through different things. So it's important to really honor where you're at and listen to your body and kind of play with the essential oils. As I mentioned, I tried to pick the top 10 oils and blends for each one of the chakras. And each one of us have this different body chemistry. So it's important for us to tune into what do I feel when I use this oil versus this other oil. So, you know, what may work for you now is going to be something that works for you in the future. So we have to attune to what our body needs and what we're attracted to so that we can receive the best benefits for it. And I think that's it. Let me stop sharing. Questions about these essential oils or specific issues that you're going through at this time? Health, wellness, energy, stress, all of the above.
So I have a question about geranium. Well, I shouldn't even say geranium. So for me, the Leo energy is in my 11th and 12th house. So, and I was feeling it last week, and I think when I pulled my chart, you'd be proud of me, Jana. I pulled my chart on Monday, and I looked up everything. So I noticed that it talked about part of it is relationships and friendships and kind of just people falling off, I guess you could say, from where. And there's someone in particular that I noticed that I used to think, you know, later on in life, you know, when working with a business, that she's probably going to have a big role in the business. But then recently, things like, I mean, like the past 3 weeks have kind of brought up things that I'm like, you know, I'm second guessing it. So I went through my period of grief. So I'm kind of, I guess, asking which oil would be best to kind of, I guess, move, like, what's my next step with this? Because I don't want to lose that person as a friend, if that makes sense. But I'm trying to deal with, like, those feelings of, like, wow, but you're like, it's not like it's anything that she said or anything, but it's just
That's a reality, right? It's just you're seeing the bigger picture. And it's funny you bring that up because I've seen that this week too, where people that I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have, you know, this person's going to play a huge role in my life. And it's like we're seeing the truth. So, you know, seeing that truth is not always easy. And we have to really allow the relationship to become what it's supposed to versus what we expect it to become, right? Okay. So if you're, the oil that's coming to mind is rose. You know, it's honoring that divine connection because they were in your life for a reason and they brought you to this point. The relationship may end, the relationship may evolve, but you have to let go. If you hold on to it out of any expectations, then it's not going to become what it's supposed to do because you're still trying to control the outcome. So it's really honoring where that is and trusting your higher self. And just, I know you're very intuitive. So, you know, if you're supposed to move forward and keep them kind of at a semi-distance or something, then that's what it's supposed to be. If it means that you talk with them on occasion, then that's what it is. And if it means that you just sort of let it go and see what comes out of it, then that's what it is. But we really have to be attuned to kind of what's coming up and kind of let go of what our expectations should be.
Right.
Not always easy.
The thing that keeps coming up for me is kind of, I could envision the conversation happening later on, like in a couple of years, of that question of why, like that person asking, I know that they're capable. Why would I not ask them to be a part of it? And I could already just see myself saying, because you don't commit, like, you know, you don't follow through on your commitments type thing. And it's one of those things where it was, you know, like it's either our friendship or, you know, this is my livelihood at the end of the day. That would try, you know, and there's something I'm trying to create that it's kind of like, all right, as much as I would like for you to be part of, you know what I mean? Like this whole conversation.
You want people, especially if this is your business, you want people that are aligned with integrity and that are, you're not dragging them. The word dragging them across the finish line kept coming up when you were talking about it. And it's like, you want high quality people that are going to represent you and your business in the highest capacity. And if they don't have that level of integrity, then they can't be a part, right? I mean, it really comes down to that piece of integrity, which includes commitment, right? That they're in that place of integrity and authenticity. And if they're not, then it's not going to serve you or your business.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Anyone else? Any specific oils that you're attracted to? Any ones that I talked about that you want more information about? I always think the people that I can't see are probably asleep from meditation, right? You know? Like Rachel was last time. She wakes up like halfway through the essential oil call. What, me? I can't do that. It's so cute because it's pretty dark in the room and all of a sudden I see you move and I was like, oh, she's awake. You're muted, darling. Wait, let me unmute you. There you go. Oh, all right, now you're unmuted.
I'll jump in. During meditation, my third eye was very active. In particular, when you mentioned the lioness and something, like the very first time you mentioned those words, it just was like, it felt like it, I don't want to say it tightened, but it kind of did something. So I didn't know if there were some oils that would, and then afterwards she kind of peeked her nose in, right? So I wanted to know if there was an oil that you can sense that would, you know, just encourage her to, you know, step full view into this so I can see what I need to see. Most times I'm putting clary sage there, or I'm, you know, taking whiffs of frankincense, but I don't know if there's something else that can, you know, like maybe she's looking for some other thing.
I love sandalwood for the third eye.
Okay.
Yeah, it's powerful. It to me is very feminine. As a tree, it's very grounding, but it helps us in clearing away some of the clutter. And what I'm seeing is like you literally like pulling open your third eye, like applying the oil and then just like opening up that third eye and allowing the vision to flow.
That's what it feels like it's been happening for me, because I've gotten back to meditation, but sometimes I just can't sit calm and, you know, it's the right word, unfeathered by the world and all the things that I have going on. So, but you know, I sit and I try to do it I do it each day. So I was thinking maybe that was something else that I could add.
Yeah, that would be a good one, especially for, you know, just sort of letting go of just all the mental chatter. Patchouli comes up too. For some reason, I'm really attracted to sandalwood and patchouli together right now. Because sandalwood, I mean, patchouli helps you be, it's very physical. It helps you be in that physical form. And I think sometimes we get in that place where it's like, oh, I want to be in that higher realm and in that, you know, that higher vibe, but we need to anchor it in physical form. So bringing it, you know, patchouli to me brings in that physicality of really anchoring into the earth.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Anyone else? Oils that you're attracted to, questions that you have about your health and wellness? Going once. Going twice. All right, well, we will.
Last minute.
Yeah, go jump in, Andy. If it wasn't for the last minute, nothing would get done, right?
There you go. Suddenly, the other day, I can't decide if I got bug bites or if there's something else that's going on inside my body. And
Is it on your legs?
ankle and but mainly on my front of my chest and the back of my arm. I don't know if they're mosquito bites or if there's another kind of bug biting me or if it's something internal.
Almost feels like bed bugs or sand fleas or something.
Uh-oh. I picked up a piece of paper behind the bedside and put it on a black table, and these little white specks jumped off. Are those mites or?
I don't know.
Bed bugs look big when I see the pictures. So.
Yeah, I've never seen
When I
it.
see
I mean, it feels like something small, right? Like some little thing, and especially if like ankles and chest. I don't know, it just feels like some little bug. So as far as like the bug stuff, do you have doTERRA's Terra Shield?
Right. I sprayed myself constantly.
Okay.
Soaked in apple cider vinegar bath last night. That helped a lot.
Right. Yeah, I'd kind of see if they start going down in the next day or two. And, you know, obviously wash everything and see if it's, because I mean, it could be internal, but it feels more external. So the thing that's coming to mind is where you're feeling attacked, right? And it could be just little things, because it doesn't feel, you know, like if it was like mosquitoes to me end up with bigger bug bites, or, you know, if it was a bee sting or something, that's a bigger one, but it's almost like little annoyances. So if there's someone in your life that you feel is, what it feels like is getting pecked to death by a chicken, right? Just that little annoyance that you're like, will you just shut up?
But then, like on my chest, it's like right, I mean, it's red all the way down the left side and stuff like that. Itchy, itchy, itchy.
Yeah, I mean, that could be like somebody that you love that's like grinding at your heart, right?
Okay.
Yeah, call upon Archangel Michael and sever all energetic connections between you and anybody else. And what I often end up doing is just imagining pushing their energy. I ask Archangel Michael to push their energy back 100 yards from me so that I'm not influenced by whatever, you know, however they're attaching to us. Since we energetically constantly interact with people, we have to be aware of that. And if it's somebody that's kind of used to pecking at you and taking your energy that way, then, you know, it's those little life annoyances that kind of are expressing themselves in that capacity. But if it goes away in a few days, then it's probably some sort of external bug that's, annoying you. Otherwise, I'd look internally and use maybe something like cilantro to, I'm hearing like cilantro melaleuca in a capsule to help break up, internally what's taking place, or even doTERRA's, their On Guard Plus, because both Melissa and oregano are in the On Guard pills, and that they're very both high antiviral, antibacterial. So that could break up that cycle as well.
I have never tried the plus, so.
Oh my God, I can't live without them. Every time I feel myself getting sick, yeah, it's not something you take all the time. You only use it when you feel yourself getting sick, or if you're going to be in a group, like if you go on a plane or something, I'll take them because they have Melissa and oregano in them and really support the immune system.
Good to know.
Yeah, but you don't want to take them for more than 10 days because your body will the immune system starts to adapt to the oregano, and it thinks it's always going to be there, so it doesn't work as hard. So you don't use it for more than 10 days.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions, comments, health concerns, oil concerns? All right, well, we will wrap up. We've got about 45 minutes until the actual new moon. So maybe take some time and contemplate, meditate, and kind of set your intentions and prepare for this really powerful new moon and see what magic happens for you.
Hey.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next call. Have a great month. Happy new moon.
Happy New Moon. Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Come on.